Trigger warning, One Piece is a political anime. Wealth, fame, power. Once there was a man who took everything in this world. But what does it mean to take everything? Politics is the language of wealth, fame, and power. Politics, and in turn, political stories, revolve around power. The gaining of power, the use of power, and very often, the resistance to power. General rule of thumb, One Piece arcs follow an outline where the Straw Hats arrive at an island, come to know the people of the island, and learn what makes them unique. Eventually leading Luffy to learning something dark or evil that is happening to the people of that island, whether it be by the hands of the world government, that island's corrupt leader, or some other organization. Ultimately ending in the Straw Hats helping the citizens and redistributing the power on the island. Not every arc follows this outline to a T, but this outline is purposefully and blatantly political. Drum Island, Alabasta, Wano, Sky Island, all of these arcs and more follow this model in which the Straw Hats are confronted by political turmoil, corruption, oppression. And what do? They always aid in resisting that oppression. Regardless of what kind of governmental system or lack thereof exists, if it is corrupt, if there is turmoil, the Straw Hats always oppose it. Punching a slaver, declaring war on an unjust government, these are actions of political defiance against the entire premise that this world government rests upon. In a society where food, water, and healthcare are only available to those of proper birth or in good standing with the government, where children are ripped away from their families to be taken to government facilities and held captive, where entire races or countries are enslaved or genocided at the behest of the most powerful people, where history is not a telling of reality, but rather a fiction created and pushed by the government. Luffy sees violent resistance as the only viable option, because living in a world like what I just described should be unacceptable to all of us. That is a political message. A rather overt allegory to real-world political issues, and Oda always having our favorite rubber boy take the side of the oppressed. These are deliberate choices to create a compelling, inspirational, political narrative. Seeing a Straw Hat Jolly Roger flown above a protest is not a misuse of that symbol. In fact, it is the point of that symbol. Luffy is a political actor, not just because of his actions or his words. He is an emperor of the sea with power and influence. Luffy makes change. Luffy alters government systems. He reconstructs power on various islands, whether he intends to do that or not. This story is meant to be inspirational to us. It is meant to inspire hope, friendship, empathy, and most importantly, action. Because Luffy and his crew will always fight for the right thing. It's easy to see why some people refuse to see One Piece as a political story when that political message is directly antithetical to their right-wing reactionary chud ideology. Media literacy is clearly not for the sensitive or faint of heart in the One Piece community.